Hello YouTube, Radiated Reptiles here with another video, and in today's video I'm going to show you guys what I talked about in the last video, and that is the brand new Radiated Tortoise Habitat. I went ahead and built this with my father actually today, and I just want to give you guys some insight, show you guys exactly what turned out. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed today's video and let's get started. All right, so we're fresh off the build and I went ahead and moved these guys inside their habitat. As you can see, all 8 of the younger radiated tortoises have gone inside here and they're just exploring each and every inch of this habitat. So we got smaller ones like that guy right there, and then we got the bigger ones kind of like these over here. So what they're doing right now is exploring, kind of walking the edges, making sure they figure out what is going on. This habitat is 8 by 8 and it is old wood that I had from a previous build that was back there next to the Aldabras, which held my older sulcatas before. And I went ahead and saved this wood because I wanted to do this. This was in the works. These guys came from an old tortoise table that I'll show you guys on the other side of the yard. You guys saw it in the last video. And I went ahead and put them here because what I want for this is so they can get more natural sunlight, and I also want them to be on the ground, being able to graze on whatever grass is growing. So there may not be a lot of grass here right now, but I'm going to go ahead and seed it out so like that they can basically graze and do what tortoises do, because as you guys know, these guys are a grassland species and they're going to go ahead and graze as much as possible. So this is kind of what I wanted to do with this. I love the look of it. We're going to go ahead and pressure clean it and eventually paint this a nice brown color so it can go ahead and match the yard. But they're doing great. All 8 of these guys are walking around and enjoying what is happening in their brand new enclosure. So this right here was the old radiated tortoise table, and if you guys notice inside, I have stripped all of the mulch of it. I went ahead and put this wire down before so like that. Obviously it can drain out nicely. This wood was just already installed and it was a great support system. This worked beautifully for them, but obviously they want to grow. I want them to grow. I want them to be on the ground, on earth, feeling the grasses and being able to graze. So this was definitely suffice for the moment, but I went ahead and upgraded them to the other side just because I wanted them to be, like I said, on the ground. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is grab their plates, throw away that, take their water dish and go ahead and put it in that new habitat. But this is just the old tortoise table, and I want to kind of give you guys an idea as well what you can do to raise some of your animals outside. All right guys, so it's very important to go ahead and put your tortoises outside if you have the ability to do so. So all my animals here at Radiated Reptiles, I like to put them outside if I have the chance to do so, or if I have the ample space, depending on the species as well. So you guys know I have my iguanas, my redfoots, my yellowfoot outside. I also have my sulcatas outside. My aldabras have been growing up outside, and so have these radiated tortoises, but they've been going in and out as they obviously get a little bit larger to be outside. So these guys are not going to be fully outside yet, because when the night hits, I'm going to go ahead and collect everybody up, put them back inside, because some of the smaller tortoises, we want to make sure that they're going to be safe from predators. But during the day, they're going to be nice and okay because I have all the dogs out here. I have people walking around, and we're going to be ahead and putting some eyes on these animals as well. So another main reason why it's important to put them outside is because we want to give them natural sunlight. So UVA and UVB from the sun is much better than bulbs. Now on days where it gets nice and chilly or it's too rainy, obviously they're going to be inside with artificial lighting, and artificial lighting is not a bad thing, but obviously the natural sun is the best possible, because these guys are basically walking solar panels, and it's very important for them to go ahead and absorb those rays from the sun so they can go ahead and grow properly. Giving them UVB and UVA rays from the sun is very important because we want to prevent things like metabolic bone disease, lack of bone structure. We don't want to get pyramiding. Now some of these tortoises may have a slight natural pyramiding, and that's okay because through certain diets they may develop these kind of slight shell imperfections, but it's not to a case or a fault that they're going to be very damaged or it's going to inhibit their growth whatsoever. So them being out here is going to be great for them, because these little guys are now going to stop competing with a little bit of the older ones. They're going to be getting a nice equal amount of food, and they're going to have to obviously grow as well, gain that size, and then eventually they'll be upgraded to maybe this side of the habitat where I have Victoria, the adult radiated, which I'll show you here. She hangs out with the aldabras. She's down here right there. Eventually they're going to all be grouped together. They're going to get their own habitat as well. So right here's the aldabras, and then next to them is the younger radiateds as well. So as we see, the aldabras here have a nice large space. There's Aristotle, we got Plato and Chalice, and then Victoria, the adult radiated female. They have this real nice space here that is eventually going to get a lot larger because these aldabras are going to keep growing, but for now they're doing good. And if we move our way over here, I was raking up some stuff right now, we got all the radiators just kind of hanging out. So see all those little weeds that are growing, all that stuff that's going to come out and propagate itself is going to be very beneficial for these tortoises, because they're going to get all that nutrients that's naturally growing here in Florida from the rains. They're going to get nice water, and then obviously we're going to go ahead and make sure that they are eating the supplementary foods like the hays, the different leafy greens, greens that we feed them, even the Missouris and things like that. So if you look right here, this little tortoise is actually going to go ahead and get a nice drink of water out of that low water dish. I go ahead and put 2 dishes in their habitat, so I have that kind of saucer plate right there, and then right below me is this, you know, a little bit of a higher water dish, a little bit of deeper water as well. So we give them the option to, you know, choose where they want to drink, because these guys are going to be opportunistic in that sense, but I always provide them some fresh, clean water in their habitat. All right, guys, so that's just kind of what went down with this habitat, my thought processes behind it. You know, it was more of an impromptu build. I didn't go ahead and record it because you have seen me build this kind of habitat before. For those that don't know, this wood is from Home Depot or any of your local hardware store. It is the 8-foot long fence post backings. They kind of use these as kind of the support system for the fences, if that's the case. So these guys are going to go ahead and live in this habitat, and like I said, as soon as they get older and they start growing, we're going to go ahead and upgrade them as need be. But it's just very important to kind of, you know, get your animals outside, make sure they're getting all that grass and grazing as much as possible, and then obviously feeding them proper diets, hydrating them by soaking and other things like that. So I just wanted to show you guys their habitat, show you guys the radiated tortoises. Stay tuned for more updates on this. Maybe we get more tortoises, of course, and obviously we're constantly expanding and building here. My next step for the, you know, builds wise is going to be upgrading the iguana habitat. You guys saw I made that video about 3-4 years ago. That habitat structurally is okay, but I want to go ahead and upgrade it to give it something better, made out of aluminum and not wood. I also want to rebuild the shed for these sulcata tortoises, and of course I have some redfoots and yellowfoots that need to get out of that iguana cage and go ahead and, you know, build them their own habitat so I can start producing more redfoots as well. So here is Buster, and that's kind of what went on there. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Subscribe, rate, comment, and like, and see my fellow herpers. So for more videos like this, please stay tuned and subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and check me out on Instagram and on TikTok at Radiated Reptiles, where I go ahead and post daily content on my animals. And if you guys have any video recommendations or anything you want to see on my channel, feel free to comment down below. So like I said, thanks for watching, and see you, my fellow herpers.